The war on video games. It seems to always get worse, doesn't it? The constant bickering, calls for regulation of the game industry, the constant lawyers who claim to be zealots to protect the innocent children from the video game industry. Oh, please think of the children. The anti-video game community is very, very stupid. Let's face it, video games are lots of cases of violent video games. That is true. There are also cases of violence. That is also true. But the Republican media, mainly Fox News and others, are so quick to blame the video games that they don't look at the person themselves. I mean, sure, video games play something into violence, but so does psychology. I have played Call of Duty since I have enjoyed the Call of Duty franchise since I was a kid. I grew up around the Call of Duty franchise as it was a way to connect with my cousins. As you can see right now, I'm playing the Toten from Call of Duty World at War Zombies. This is the truth about the rate of violence in this world. Let's face it, humans by nature are violent. That's something we can't deny. Humanity is a violent species. We've always been a very violent species, fighting for our own survival. It's that this generation is really not that all bloodthirsty. I mean, we've barely been in any wars in America, other than, of course, the war on terrorism, which has been quite the failure, as the fact that we still have terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda around. And before you all start saying, oh, it's because of Obama, well, let's face it, if anything, the wars that Bush dragged us into are costing us more money than any of the policies from President Barack Obama. And I'm talking about the last Bush president. It's true that violence is in the nature of humanity. Violence is a thing in nature itself. So that's why, quote-unquote religious zealots think it's their right to just claim that video games can cause violence. Oh, it's because that someone played this violent video game that they are violent. Maybe they were locked away in isolation playing violent video games, so that's why this happened. No. Isolation can do more bad shit to your brain than playing violent video games. I mean, look at me. I've been playing I play violent video games. I play Call of Duty. I play GTA. I play as many violent video games as I want. Because one is my right, and two, because I enjoy them. Because they are frickin' fun. In fact, many have gone to record to personally blame video games. One of the more obnoxious ones has said that it is a violent culture caused by the sales of video games. Now, mind you, that is not a fully accurate quote, but it's hard to remember the quote, actually. But that is part of a quote said by the Vice President of the National Rifle Association. Yes, the NRA. the association that Republicans claim is defending their Second Amendment rights. That in the NRA is saying that violent video games cause more violence. And even some people say, like, Grand Auto, in Bill O'Reilly with his dumb Grand Auto Theft. Dude, it's the name of a fucking crime. You should know it. It's fucking Grand Theft Auto. It's gotten to a point where some of the anti-gaming zealots have actually been banned. One of them, who is very infamous in the gaming community, actually lost his law license in America, so he can no longer practice law. Irony is such a bitch. So why are we even talking about this? I mean, sure, a lot of the Republican... If any Republican crowd is going to watch this video, they're going to be like, oh, it's the Democrats, they are violent, they are protesting. They want our guns, they want to control our lives. And I'm saying this because this is and I know what you're all thinking. Gun control... I know all the Republicans will probably watch this. Will probably be like, oh, but gun control is unconstitutional. Yeah. So is Trump threatening the credentials of the free press. That is against the First Amendment. In fact, going after violent video games is also a violation of the First Amendment. The Supreme Court has said it. I'm sure some of you may have heard about California's attempt in 2010 to ban violent video games from being sold to kids under 18. Of course, it was outlawed by a court in Arnold Schwarzenegger because sometimes Arnie is a dumbass, decided to bring it to the highest court in the land. You're right. You heard that right. Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to bring an anti-video game law into that had already been proven wrong to the Supreme Court. And he did. In fact, it backfired on him because in 2011, June of 2011 to be exact, the United States Supreme Court voted in a 7-2 margin that bans on violent video games in the United States would be unconstitutional. You heard that right. Unconstitutional. It would be so, as they say, video games are protected by the First Amendment. This is not only is that a massive win for gamers, but it is also a massive loss to the anti-gaming community. I mean, let's face it. I've been playing violent video games for years. Minecraft has some elements of violence, but that's because you have to survive. There is also, of course, GTA, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Even some of the more known games like Call of Duty, they're known to have violence. And Call of Duty in particular is important because it's a FPS. A lot of FPS games, yes, have violence because they're FPS games. First-person shooters, you basically walk around and shoot guns.